Musing While Boozing. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I know.
Hey everyone, Karl here from Musing While Boozing. Brand new episode today, and I think you're absolutely going to love it. A little bit more on that in a second. Today's episode is brought to you by Pop Vulture, popvulture.com. A link will be in the show notes. Pop Vulture is circling the best in mainstream media and apparel. Pop Vulture is your home for everything pop culture. Put it this way. Is your t-shirt game a little lame? Are you walking around in just a plain black t-shirt or something you got out of a beer box because you bought 12 beer? Well, it's time to step a little bit. You go to Pop Vulture. These guys have everything that'll help you, look a little more slick. They got things from Star Wars to Stranger Things to Pickle Rick. If it's trendy and in quote-unquote now, then you can find it at popvulture.com. They're sending us a few t-shirts to try out. I know it's going to love it. My son's got a few t-shirts on order from here. You guys got to check it out. It's run by a great group of entrepreneurs based in Canada, and they got t-shirts starting at $8. I know their Black Friday special that's on right now. You can get a mystery shirt for $1.99. So you can't go wrong. If you want to look like you're actually from this generation, then please, I encourage you to check out popvulture.com. Today's episode is also, again, of course, brought to you by our favorite drinking establishment, Brazen Hall Breweries here in Winnipeg. Their website is brazenhall.ca. These guys have, a handful of beers on tap at all times that are all exclusively brewed in-house by the amazing brewmeister Jeremy. So you can go there and, wet your whistle from something light to something dark, all made with homegrown ingredients, sourced here in the province, and brought together by a guy that really knows his stuff when it comes to beer. Brazen Hall is currently running a promotion, Deck the Brazen Halls with Boughs of Holly. It's a scratch and win promotion. Go down there, order yourself a pint, try some amazing beers. They're going to give you a scratch and win card. Quite simply, you don't scratch it yet. You bring it back in January. Every card's a winner. There's over $60,000 in prizes. And for that, you can go anything from free appetizers and a beer to possibly a grand trip for two to Las Vegas. So all this just for encouraging you to drink beer. And of course, that's with our friends at Brazen Hall. Go ahead, give them a visit, check out their website. You can sign up to be on their notification list every time a new brew comes out. You can be part of their loyalty club. You can earn rewards. So everything you want to find is at brazenhall.ca. Go ahead and head down there. And again, have the bacon, beer, and bourbon, the shot. Absolutely love that. So today's episode, I'm thrilled. It was quite an experience. We had some special guests on this show that we were thrilled to have on. And, by the sound of the theme music in the back, give you a little bit of hint. We were able to confirm Mike's house wasn't haunted. But that's right. We had the actual real-world Ghostbusters on our show. Kelly and Ashley from the Winnipeg Paranormal Investigations Group came down and spent about an hour with us talking about how they got into the business, what it's like to be a paranormal investigator, how someone gets trained up and learned, and of course, some of their amazing ghost stories that went with it. So I really hope you enjoy this episode. We had a blast recording it. Of course, we were pouring Brazen Hall brew the entire time, and overall it was just an amazing evening. So sit back, enjoy, everybody. I really hope you like it when we have these guests on. We're gonna have more and more of them, and everybody out there, keep musing while boozing.
Musing While Boozing, because the best thinking happens while drinking. Hot topics over cold drinks.
Yeah.
No, that's just where the beer's kept, that's all.
I might need you guys to go in there to check for ghosts.
Yeah, no kidding.
I have my KT in the car.
I hope I don't have any.
Well, considering, and we brought that up, he said, I think my house is haunted. I said, well, you built the place. When this died, here's your hopes and dreams. I mean, I really, unless there was something on the land beforehand. But cheers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for taking a risk coming over here.
Yeah,
it's kind
risk.
Well, you know what?
I was saying to her, I'm like, okay.
It's not like we're in the
What are we getting into?
Yeah.
There's been 3 people who come here, and everyone has been. I can see it in their eyes. I'm like, is this gonna be bad?
My house is only 6 blocks away. It's no better. We had some people come there too. So. Okay,
I
a little
used
round.
to be a newspaper reporter, and I used to go into people's houses by myself.
Well, Alana came down from the metro down here, and she's went to the article with us, and with the same thing. And she's like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe the places. I mean, you're in Charleswood. It's fine. I'm not worried." So she came down. Well, a little round of introductions then. Mike, we obviously have some special guests here this evening. Let's go around the proverbial bar.
Well, I'm Mike, so
Yeah,
you already know me.
People, our listeners know who you are. That's for sure.
I'm Ashley. I'm one of the lead investigators and owners of Winnipeg Paranormal Group.
Excellent.
And I'm Kelly. I'm the other owner. We're partners, actually.
Fantastic.
We run the Winnipeg Paranormal Group together.
And you immediately piqued my interest because you said, like, owners, like it's a business end. Because I'm coming into this completely blind on purpose. Yeah. So I want to learn everything there is to know about exactly what you ladies do. So if you're a business, my first immediate question is, because I want to know, is so who are your customers then? Not specifics, but...
Well, first of all, we don't charge.
Okay, well,
we do.
You're like us.
We do have it set up
Right up
as
our
a
alley.
business, so that we're professional, but we don't charge.
Right.
We're volunteers.
We're registered as a not-for-profit.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
I like that idea.
Yeah.
So you do this for enjoyment?
No.
Enjoyment, passion, curiosity.
God,
like I said, I was a newspaper reporter before kids, and I mean, one of the reasons I went into that field is because I was curious about everything.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to find answers. People tell you all these things when you're growing up, and I was always one of those kids like, no, you can't just tell me. I want to see. I want to know, like, is there really something out there? You guys tell me, because I was brought up in a religious field, and they're just like, you're supposed to believe this, this, and this, but they never really show you anything, right?
My goodness,
So,
my wife and I had a conversation very similar to this before I came running over here today. That's why we were a little slow getting things set up. But I felt the same way growing up. So when you said that, when you were looking at getting into the field, I first question, how do you go about doing that? Like, I don't think there was a night course at Red River, was there? No.
I've always been curious about this field, even when I was a kid. And I'm dating myself, but I don't know if you've ever watched In Search Of. Do you remember that show with Leonard Nimoy?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like I used to watch it with my dad all the time, and he watched like Unsolved Mysteries and like all those shows, right? So I was always curious about, okay, what's real, what's not, what's out there. And then when I had moved to Winnipeg, what was that, like 6 years ago now? I don't know. And I had just decided, I'm like, you know what, I really like to get into this field. And I was talking to someone about it when I was at Comic-Con, and the guy said, you're in luck. I own and run the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. You should come out with me. And the rest is history. Now, he passed it on to me, and now she runs it with me. And
fantastic.
Yeah. So it kind of just fell into. I just fell into it, kind of thing.
Oh,
crazy.
I mean, that's generally how everybody is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And is your story similar?
No.
No? Okay. You're going,
no, not even close. I actually started out as a client.
Oh, even better.
We'd moved into our house, and when you move into any house, there's always weird noises and things that you just chalk up to, okay, I'm not familiar with the area, the house, it's all good. The noises continued, and things kind of escalated. So what started out as footsteps became, sounding like somebody was dancing on my floor above me, and things getting moved, and we ended up with a handprint on a wall. And my oldest son, who was about 3, told me that the dark man came out of his closet at night. He went from, we initially lived in an apartment, and he slept in a pitch black room. Didn't need anything. We moved into the house, and he started wanting a nightlight. Right. So, and then when I asked him why, he's like, oh yeah, the dark man comes out of my closet at night, Mom. Okay.
So how do you get from there, I mean, it's funny, a little backstory with Mike and I. We've known each other for 38 years, and any of our friends will tell you that he's the go for it believer for every possible thing you could possibly imagine. And I am definitely on the more the skeptic. I need to know, I need to see it, I need to feel it. And so
we've fought viciously.
We have had many animated conversations about a bunch. So in my head, my question truly is then, how do you go from, well, okay, I'm hearing things and seeing things, to becoming a client, so to speak? Like, we're making that leap.
I had something sit down on the bed beside me.
Okay, that would do it.
To the point where it was heavy enough to make me roll to the middle of the bed. Mm-hmm. And when that happens and you roll and there's no one there, like no one, it's a very strange sensation because you don't know what to do.
That would do it. Okay, that definitely.
Yeah.
So now that you're doing this, does it scare you that something like that would happen, or does it make it's all right?
It's like an adrenaline rush for me.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, I crave it. We
Your
go
house
through.
is crazy.
I miss that house. We crave it. Like, we'll go through, a month or two. Well, not lately, but where we don't have clients calling us or emailing us, and it's like, okay, we need that one. We need to get out there again and just find something. Cause
I can tell you right now, my wife's family all believes that her parents' house, which is still over in Charleston, you're actually Dieppe, so not too far away, way close to the field, older house against the field. There's been, when they went to go buy the house, the gentleman who was selling it to them, who went a little senile, didn't know his kids were selling it, and he pulled a gun, and there was rumors, there was stuff buried. Anyways, they grew up the whole life believing that there was things happening in this house.
Yeah.
I haven't had the luxury of observing anything, but my wife was just like, she looked at me like I was crazy when I was questioning anything about it. And the reason she was looking up is because she wants to contact you to have you to come over to that house, because both her sisters are just, we shared this house with something else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you'll get a call soon. We may see each other again, because I will be there with bells on it.
We'll leave our business cards with you.
Please do.
And I was pretty skeptical still when I was in the group, and until her house, until we investigated her house. Because I remember thinking, wow, the mind is crazy. Why am I doing this? Like, you get some hits on the K2, whatever, it happens. You don't know. I mean, you can still explain stuff away.
Right. So what's a K2? Sorry.
That is...
All I know about ghosts is I've seen from movies, so you have to...
Well, they're on, like, every show that you see about, like, people who hunt ghosts. I hate that.
Ghost hunters.
We don't like ghosts.
No.
We're all just like, no.
You don't have any traps?
We more infested.
No traps.
No traps.
No,
I assume
your car
Ghostbusters
wasn't a hearse when you pulled up.
Actually, no. Like Dan Aykroyd, that's his background.
Yeah.
Paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
His grandfather, I believe. And, so
that's why we got a writing credit in the movie, because it was his idea. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
By the way, I think that's why the remake of Ghostbusters failed. It just didn't have that chemistry of...
No, I loved it. I'm sorry.
The geeky guy.
I liked it, but I still do love the original.
Well, there's...
I mean... Aykroyd.
Well, it was in our formative years, of course, when we saw that too, right?
Geez,
so...
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Even though I love the idea of women, like, showing that, because you see on all the shows that it's all males in all the groups.
Yeah, you'd really think
and in real life,
usually white.
In real life, that's not the case.
It's funny. His son actually upstairs said, "Oh, was ladies coming over?" And he said, "I never would have thought." And then his wife upstairs said the same thing. I said, "No, I watched a couple videos, but they're clearly women."
Yeah. Most groups out there, because we're friends with people like all over the U.S. and Canada, and most of them are majority women.
So, are there any
he was big time disappointed that there wasn't 4 of you.
Oh, It's like, you can't just be 2. That's right, you did say that. You can't just be 2. I'm like, maybe you're 2 on vacation, buddy. And I said, no, there are more. In the video I saw, there was 3 at one point in one of your interviews.
Well, there's 4 in our core, 5, I guess, in our,
there you go.
Call our core group. Yeah. And then we have 3 trainees right now, I guess.
Yeah. It's hard to keep people in, though, because when they have to do the evidence review and the work and stuff, they're just like, I don't get paid for this, I don't want to do this is boring. I'm like, it's not fun, but you know what, there's people, like, we have clients waiting anxiously for this stuff, and they want to know,
Well, I'm trying to keep my thoughts organized here. I don't know where your head's at, but I have a million questions. So, because you say a sentence, and I got 18 more questions. So, let's start in the beginning. How do you train? How do you become a trainee? What does that entail, or what type of experiences do I have to go through, or actually, what does the quote-unquote work? Sorry, that's a ton of questions. Pick any of them and answer. That's up to you.
Well, we stuck her in a haunted ambulance for the first investigation.
Basically, what we classify a trainee is, it's just somebody without any experience. So they're coming to us fresh, new blood, as you will. And, we have to show them the ropes. So they have to learn the equipment. They have to learn our processes, how to review evidence, how to make sure you're not contaminating the evidence as well, right? Yeah. So it is a process, and the fact that we only do 1 or 2 investigations a month, it does take a while to build up that experience.
Even though we have a lot more clients, but there's just so much work involved, and we're not getting paid, so we have to have jobs too, right?
Shocking when you think about it.
And we all have kids, and
obviously it takes up a whole bunch of your time. That makes you no money.
All my passions are like non-paid.
Yeah, they're all passion projects. Okay, so then you get them. So you touched upon something just a little earlier. Ashley? Kelly. Okay, I was going to get right. Sorry. I'm good with the names in general and who you both are. Okay. So, Kelly, when you said you were, skeptical until, obviously you weren't there when, you sat on the bed and you fell over. But so when you went to her house, what took you to the other side? That's the part. It's the transition you're thinking that I find fascinating.
Yeah, we were doing the investigation, and she wasn't there. Surprisingly, our clients leave us. They don't even notice. I leave us the key to their house. Yeah. They're like, gotta go.
Yeah, don't want to be here. In case you piss them off.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, hey, this is crazy.
That makes sense to me.
Their house, right?
When the exterminator comes, I don't stay either. I'm like, what? Get those cockroaches. I'm out of here.
But we do have them sign paperwork and stuff, just to be
sure
above the board. But anyways, so it was around, I don't know, 1:30, 2 in the morning, and I remember thinking to myself, maybe I'm just crazy, and maybe I'm just wasting my time, and nothing's happening. And then one of the members, we were in the bedroom where all of that stuff happened to her, and there were 4 of us, and one of the members was sitting on the bed in front of me, and all of a sudden he just got up and he started breathing really. It sounded like he was hyperventilating, and I'm like, what's wrong? And he's not answering me. And then I look up, and it's so hard to describe. It was like something in the movies, right? If you've ever seen the first Poltergeist, where you see that white puffy cloud just go into the ceiling. That's what I saw, and I was God. What? Because we when we go into a house, we check windows, we see if there's any ventilations on. We want to explain stuff away first, right? It was the craziest shit that I've ever seen, and I was like, oh, does anybody else see that? And then one of the other members across the room, he just turned white as a ghost, no pun intended. He was just all freaked out because he said something touched him, and I found out the person in front of me said that a hand, a child's hand, waved on the side of his face.
My God.
He was like, what the hell? Because he had been in it longer than I had, and he had never seen anything like that before either. So we were all just like, whoa, oh my God. So I ran and grabbed my phone, and I just started taking pictures. And then later on, when I was looking through them, I was just like, okay, am I just looking over too much evidence? And I asked a friend of mine, I said, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to lead you. Can you just look at these few pictures and tell me if you see something in one of them? And he was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, what do you see? And he's like, it looks like an outline of someone standing on the bed. I'm like, friggin' kidding me, right? So then I bring it to the team, and I'm like, I'm not saying anything because we don't like to lead each other, because you can just you can impress someone's mind like that. So they were all just like yeah. And then one of the members said, he goes, I didn't want to say anything to you guys, but I know someone who lived there before she did, and he used to say, because we all said it looked like an outline of a little girl standing on the bed, he said that his friend, when he lived there, he said that he saw a little girl in the basement.
Oh.
Yeah, and we were like, what the hell? It was crazy. And then we went back and we investigated again, because a lot of times you're going back a couple of times. And we had a recording of, it sounded like we were sitting on that bed again, and there were a couple of us, and all of a sudden you hear this like,
gotta get a new bed.
This girl, it was like this girl's voice.
I'm no expert. Buy some new
The bed is fine. The bed is with me in the new house, and it's all good.
Yeah.
It was the room.
But you could hear like really loud, and it was like in between us. We were like, what the hell was that? We're all like, whoa!
Oh shit.
Did we get it? Did we
You can
get
hear it on the recording,
Yeah.
and you hear them just freak out.
Yeah, we were like, whoa, did you hear that? They're like, yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. So
you lived in Spook Central.
Yep. I did.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
it was awesome. I was like, I want to live at your house. That's crazy.
did you include that in the listing in terms of the negotiation?
We were only renting, so we didn't have to include it.
Oh, so you just got out of eye before. Did you inform your landlord?
Yeah, we had talked to our landlord.
Is that something
we said,
you bring it up? Like
we did, because we after we had the investigation, and we still lived there for another 2 years.
This is the makings of a
or
movie.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't leave.
I know she begged me not to leave. But so we did talk to the landlord and just said, like, we have some weird stuff going on. Has anybody ever else come forward to you and asked, do you know any history on the house?
He killed anybody in this house.
So nobody had ever really said anything to him. But he also said it was a side by side, so people could have just chalked it up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neighbor must be home.
Yeah.
I've lived in a condo. I get it. That'd be my immediate thought. And, Oh.
Yeah.
So is there a do you guys do Winnipeg or all over, or obviously you don't have a ton of time, right?
We've gone beyond Winnipeg. Yeah. I've gone even up to near McCreary. I've gone all the way up there to a client, but it's really hard because we're also just that's when we're just so if you spring for gas,
well, for sure.
Because I mean, I don't even want to say how much I've spent for equipment, because I bought a DVR system because that's what you usually use, and different IR cameras, and a lot of the equipment
I gotta ask
extra because it's a ghost investigation thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, really?
They put a sticker
I need
on
to
it.
learn how to do this stuff too to this equipment. But
I gotta ask, is there any tools on Ghostbusters that resemble anything in your
I like how you use arsenal.
in your arsenal?
A lot of Mike's questions may involve Ghostbusters.
You know what? I'm a big fan too. I have Ghostbuster stuff in my house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just gonna say,
And when
you
you
are
talk
in the
to
right
Chris
place.
Rakowski, he has that stuff in his house too. So it's pretty funny.
Don't even get us started with him
When I was
because
down in the U.S.,
we grew up
he's
with the
like,
X-Files.
so there's this thing that I want you to get from the Ghostbusters. It's cheaper down there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I believe in the science of those tools, for sure. So it's just a matter of
I don't
know.
It's hard. A lot of the tools, K2s measure EMF. That's electric.
A lot of the tools that we
fields.
use aren't actually designed for what we do.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I can
Right,
understand that. Those would be hard to come by.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So you got to improvise.
well, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Because people, when they watch those shows, they're just like, oh, when the K2 meter goes off, it's EMF, so it's got to be a ghost. I'm like, no, it could be wiring, it could be anything, because
Your
we're
cell phone.
surrounded by
Especially in
those
today's
fields all
environment with the
time.
whole Wi-Fi being
Yeah.
every 30 feet.
Yeah, and when we go into people's houses, if it's steady EMFs, we're just like, it's not paranormal. It's
Yeah.
just, you
Get your
need to-
electrical checked out, and then we'll come back.
Yeah, because it can still be dangerous, physically, because it's known to cause brain cancer and things like that.
So is your house then, would that be considered the most haunted place you guys have been? Because, I mean, we did have some...
Michigan was pretty weird.
We actually already took questions from some of our listeners that you guys are... So we have a couple... and that was so I'm just going to lead off with the first one. What was the most haunted spot in Winnipeg, and what made it that way?
The Seven Oaks House Museum.
We've done a lot of public investigations there. So.
That place is crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in there. We've been there probably... we did, 8 investigations this No, 6 this summer, 2 last summer, plus 2 private
But the St.
investigations.
Boniface was pretty crazy.
St. Boniface was pretty crazy too.
Yeah. That was really crazy.
See, we worked at the Manitoba Developmental Center in Portage, which is an institutionalized home for that. They had a million names for it, including back in the 20s, where you would say the word like retarded or what have you. But home for the institutionalized, and so I worked nights there. And then because the buildings have been around in the late 90s for over 100 years, I would walk through some of the buildings and look at things, because we were just doing bed checks, really had a lot of time to kill. We were 19 year old summer students and pay us whatever. So I was going through the old museum and stuff area, and it's the only time in my life where if I had a different mindset, I would say that I thought that's the only time in my life, because my wife asked me a question, haven't you ever felt like spirits go through you or anything? Because she has. I said, no, I don't think I have. But then when I was driving here, I was thinking the only time in my life, but I had also spent the previous 3 hours reading about what they used to do in that place in the 10s and the 20s and the 30s and stuff, so my head was loaded. But when I spent like an hour walking through the museum and stuff, I just had a moment there where suddenly I had to get out of there. And I swear people were standing beside me, but then in my head I'm like, oh no, Karl, you are thinking about all the people that stood beside you when you're reading the stories, right? So that's... But it was the scariest place I've ever been in my life.
That's the hard thing when you're going into these places. That's why we don't like to know too much information, because then you have stuff in your head about
preconceived notions.
And we don't want that when we go into somewhere. So we won't
say anything more about Len and Louise's house.
Like there's one, at least one member of our group, he's like, do not tell me anything. Tell me nothing.
He wants to go in cold.
Because he just wants to know if he's, feeling the right thing, and if he finds a place in the house and then someone else says, well, that's where something happened, then he's like, okay, well, we can kind of
now there's a correlation, makes a lot of sense.
I mean, that helps it in some sense, and that's why we use the equipment too. Like we use video cameras and recordings and stuff like that, so we can play it back and say, okay, well, on this investigation there was one where it was just all women in the house and you could hear a male saying hello. We're just like, okay, there was no one else there. It was 4 women investigating, so...
Well, it might have been Cher, you don't know. I have unfortunately met some of these women. You have that voice. Not to be anti-sexist here, but I'm saying.
None of them had that voice. No.
Okay.
Trust me.
No.
Yeah, so we were just like, okay,
So is there a hot spot in Winnipeg that you've noticed, or is it just
more than others? People always ask us that, and
we want to be outside the zone.
And the thing is that the majority of investigating that we do is actually in private homes,
which makes sense. People spend the most time, right? That's where you have the most
because we have clients
opportunity to interact.
We say that our clients come first before anything else, even though there's a lot of places that we would like to go to.
But because I probably have about 6 of them in questions here. Is have you been here? Have you been here? Have you been here? Like the Masons building downtown, the old spaghetti factory, the one they
Masonic Temple.
Yeah, the Masonic Temple and Ellis and what have you.
Some of the originals
been there.
Yeah, that was the original ghost story I was told as a kid. Was eating there as a kid at Mother Tucker's.
Chris has been in there too.
Yeah.
He said there was nothing.
Okay. Well,
and I heard that from the other members.
The building is in such disrepair right now inside that you really can't.
Right.
Yeah, there's some places that we're not even allowed to. They just don't want us to go in there because they're like, we don't want it to be known as.
It's funny.
Books,
there's books and
everybody
all
knows.
I was gonna say, what about the places that are like the Fort Garry? Or is that the one you're referring to?
I know I've been to like the Fort Garry Hotel in Lower Fort Garry. Like I do some stuff with the ghost tours and stuff too. Like so, I partnered up with her and those are pretty neat. Like we've gone up. Like I split them. We'd split into groups. And we wouldn't know what questions we were asking, but I guess a lot of people ask the same questions, and then you find that you get a lot of the same answers. You're like, maybe that means something. I don't know.
Interesting.
But definitely Seven Oaks was pretty cool though.
Was there a recent event that you guys like? Are there events that?
We do public events.
Yeah.
We do like Seven Oaks. We did. Was it June, July, August, and September?
Yeah.
and we would have so many people that we'd allow in, and we'd split everybody up into groups, and I mean that helps pay for some of the equipment and things like that. We also go down to different events in the States. Like we've been going down to one in Michigan.
I was going to ask, is there like a con or like a conference?
There's tons.
Because I would imagine this would be something.
Tons.
Yeah.
The U.S. has a lot of them. Canada, not so much. That's why we'd like to have we'd like to eventually have
put one on.
But it costs a lot of money. So,
No, I imagine so.
You know, especially in a field where no one's taking any money. It's like an unspoken thing. You're not supposed to charge.
The gross margin is very low in Ghostbusting right now.
You're like, we
take
donations, but
No, that's absolutely yeah, because that was another thing. Actually, my wife was asking about. I believe is where do they have? Because I thought I'd seen something in the U.S. once, but. And it was a big one in Vegas, actually. It was huge.
Yeah, they have them all the time.
Yeah.
Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
So have you
Salem casino in Minnesota.
Have you attended any of them?
We go down to Michigan every year for the Parafest in October.
Yeah.
And I've been
this
to
is our third year.
One at the casino.
Yeah,
that's only a few hours away in Minnesota. So.
Yeah, and so do they have speakers?
They have speakers, and we've gotten to know a lot of the speakers from like some of the shows and stuff, and some of them are mentors of ours. And because when I first started in this field, I was just like, okay, well, I haven't been doing this a long time. I should be contacting people that have. The first person I contacted was Chris Rutkowski, of course, because he was one of the first paranormal investigators like in the city way back when. I mean, he's been doing this for 30-something years, so. Yeah, so he's still like I'm good friends with him and his wife now, which is great. But he's helped me a lot, and then some other people in the States, and you just consult with people because you're like, I don't know, I haven't been doing this as long as you guys, and
there's no standardized reference to turn to, so to speak,
there's
right?
Not. So you kind of seek out people that kind of have the same outlook as you, that aren't looking for fame and glamour, which there are a lot of them that do that. They do it because they want to, help people too. Because some of these people call us and they're pretty freaked out. Well, especially if they have kids.
I won't lie to you. It was mentioned that when I mentioned you ladies were coming tonight, they're like, well, these guys will be able to book you a lot of guests. Unfortunately, they're all dead. But then we hoped if you had a Rolodex, because we would love to have Hendrix on the show if he was available. Yes. But that was what came up today at lunch when I brought it up. Everybody was very excited. And then the gentleman definitely brought it up and said, well, you guys are awesome now. You are set up. So I said I'd be sure I'd mention that. But I don't think that was quite how it worked. You weren't talent agents per se.
No.
So yes, we're after purely for your talent connections. The ghosts are fine.
So do you guys ever feel anything, or have you ever felt anything when you're in your?
We've noticed the longer that we do this, the more open we are about things, and the more we can. I hate using the word sense, but
no.
We've gone into places where when we were in Michigan, because they do public investigations, and we were in one place doing an investigation. We always tell people, we're just like, you bring all the other people, we're going to go over here, because they know us, right? So I went down this hallway, and I was like, that doesn't feel right at all. It felt like I was like walking into like a wall, but there was nothing there. It was just a hallway.
Did you want?
I'll have a So I
Sorry, that's my phone.
I was freaked out.
You get point two of a second right there, because she's talking, your hands aren't moving. I'm like, okay, what have we been drinking?
We did an investigation once. Oh, you're so dead.
I call fake and bullshit on that one, only in particular.
I was so pissed. I was like, you asshole, what are you thinking? It's all quiet.
I said I would turn my phone off, to be fair.
And 5 minutes before you got here, not a word of a lie, when we had the movie director on 2 episodes ago, actually, I don't know which one it was, ago, he made that comment because his phone went off, and he was like, and he just didn't skip a beat. Yeah, recording sound's very important. You always make sure, your phone is off, and I just bleep, 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 like, okay, so we literally today just remind ourselves, and there you go. So again, I'm thinking it's not a phone.
It's funny. I know, I have that one too. Did I turn my phone off? I hope so. Oh, yeah, that's Chris.
No, my wife actually had a question then because they are having an issue. Is she said what? Because she didn't assume, but you didn't bring any traps. So
there's actually a group on TV that does that.
Yeah, I know. And I was very excited if you're bringing them. But, so as traps
a lot of people are not happy about that.
Yeah, as traps currently are not an accepted option.
On a side note, the science is sound.
Well, hey, I believe
so
you.
It's possible.
This is why we hang out.
I think it's sound.
So then, her
a lot of investigators are really angry about that because they're like, you know, for the people that do believe that there are spirits, why would you trap them?
It's not
like, look at your grandmother. What are you doing?
Yeah. Wendy was asking. She said, "So what do you do? So if you're positive and that someone is that the proper terminology? Something is living in your house or you're sharing space with something from another realm." Her question is, what do you do? So then how do you resolve the situation?
How do you know if it's good or bad?
What do you do? We call you, and you're going to come out, and you're going to go in, and you're going to find out that, yes, our house is a little fucked, and it's haunted, and you're going to come out to me, and obviously we're prepared for the information. And you're not. A lot of confidence isn't exuding across the table here because you moved. So again, I don't want to think that my in-laws have to move. So
I moved because we bought a house, not because
we just realized. Wait a minute, you moved. So call them. Donate anytime.
Although I did run into a client not too long ago, and we investigated her house years ago, and that place was really. Don't say the name of the street.
Yeah, we're bad for that.
And I was looking at her, and I was working. I work in retail, and I looked at her and I'm like, "You look so familiar." She's like, "Yeah, you came into my house and you investigated." I was like, "Oh." I'm like, "How's it going?" She's like, "Yeah, we're selling the house."
See, there you go. Okay, well, say you don't want to sell your house.
To be fair, in that case, they didn't want us doing anything.
Yeah.
They did it, and it wasn't.
It wasn't a good situation.
No.
It was something that needed to be moved on. And
in retail in Winnipeg, you get to meet everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, that was...
Okay, so it's...
Like, you can't make the client do what they don't want to do. Like, 99% of our clients, we come back and we say, okay, we could explain all this stuff away, or this is what we found.
Right.
Or didn't find. A lot of times we have investigations where nothing happens.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure it's a little facetious, but I believe that.
Yeah.
But
most of the time they don't.
But if something
we do find something, they're just like, oh, okay, I just wanted to know that I wasn't crazy.
Okay, but now...
They don't want to do anything.
I guarantee you, that won't be my wife. So, what are some of the... I guess, but it would depend, right? Because
it depends.
That makes a lot of sense. Sorry, so...
A lot of time... Well, the thing is, too, like, we classify ourselves as more of a spiritual group. Like, we don't base ourselves off of any religion. So, if we're going into a home where religion is prevalent, then we always suggest that they go with their religion.
Yes.
So, you know, we can tell you to put crosses up around the house, but if you don't believe in the cross,
do something different.
Have you explored Buddhism? Because you're not going to like what I'm going to fucking tell you here in 2 seconds. Sorry. In my head, that's how it's playing out. So
it's alright. You can call him a dick.
I'm sorry, but in my head, I'm like, yeah, if you're religious, well, you're gonna want to change.
But no, like, for us, like, we're not gonna tell you to go and put up crosses around the house if you don't believe in the cross.
Right.
Because it's not gonna do anything for you. You have to believe in what you're doing and believe in the path that you're taking.
So that's not something you do then, right? Because you were more on the spiritual versus religious side?
Right.
Yeah, because we all have different beliefs, and we don't want to say that we're, you know, we don't want to rule anybody out by saying, well, no, we believe in this and that's it, and you're wrong and we're right, and because we all do have different beliefs. We do have a member who is a sensitive, and he'll do like
house cleansing
and things like that.
Oh, sorry, a sensitive? Like, I have a sensitive son, but so I I'm undereducated in this realm. I am straight up.
Yes, you are.
I can fake a lot of things, but I don't know some of the terminology. So a sensitive is what for those of us like me?
A form of a medium.
Okay. See, I can get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So-
more like he's just more, I guess, in tune with what's going on around him. Like he's not communicating like
Okay.
a medium would.
Again,
and,
can't book us guests. But
and it's hard because like there are a lot of people who say that they're mediums.
right. But okay. Okay. I love it.
So yeah, it's a tough field to be in.
No, I'm that's why it
You want to make
fascinates me.
sure that people
Legitimately,
have skepticism too, and they're gonna look at it and.
I know, because
You know.
you get someone like, I don't hide it well, but I want to believe in a lot of things. Like I was that kid.
Yeah.
I was that kid at like 6 who went out with the math to dad and said, yeah, Santa can't travel that fast. It ain't happening.
No.
And made up my mind that night, right? Like that was me.
I had arguments with my dad all the time. I'm like, I looked it up, and it's right here.
Yeah.
And you're wrong, and
Yeah.
I'm right. Huh.
Oh my god, I was the same.
And he was just like,
I had to go all the way down to the library, use the Dewey Decimal System, right on Google.
yeah.
I had to look that shit up.
Yeah, you do.
No, I was there.
I'm like, you're wrong. No, you can't just tell me shit and think I'm just gonna believe it. But yeah.
What's the fact that
So, what do you think of like? I've gone to one of these mediums before, right?
Oh yeah,
What
you
are they
guys
called?
did. You had a big experience there.
Well, I've gone 3 times, and once I thought it was hokey. Twice I was pretty taken back.
Totally forgot about that. That's right.
Like we've become friends with people who are
we have
just
some
like,
really good friends
whoa,
who are.
how do they even?
Like, are they?
How do they even know that?
Are they potential employees? Are they?
No, they're from like other states and that we've met through different conferences. Well, Parafest and that and.
But like,
Yeah, like one of the times we were on an investigation and he said it first, right? John had said.
Well, I had asked John what was going on because Scott wasn't picking up on anything.
Right.
But we were definitely like there was something going on in that house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah.
And
So John described everything in detail,
yeah.
and then the client, which we didn't know, had written a bunch of stuff down before we got there.
Mm-hmm.
And after John had said it, he takes out a notebook and he slaps it down, and it's like everything.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
John just said.
well, and
like,
this was via Facebook Messenger too, right? Like this is
because he's down in Michigan.
John is down in Michigan and we were in Winnipeg, and he's like, okay, here's what's going on, blah 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 blah.
He's describing a person in detail.
Yeah, in detail, exactly what was kind of going on in the house. Like,
Holy shit!
it was aggressive. It didn't like females. It like, and he like
He
the client pulls out this
what
book
he
and
looks
he's like, here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, okay.
I mean, there's still stuff that was
what can you say? Like,
Okay.
all right, okay, yeah.
Okay, let's get to work.
Yeah,
So
it was crazy. We were just like, that just happened.
That's insane.
yeah.
I'm sorry, that's insane. It's utter insanity.
It is, right? We were just like, okay.
so is it tough to? Are some people convinced, or like, does everyone call you?
Believers?
Yeah, and are they?
I think yes, because I think the first place to get in touch with us, you have to believe that something is going on in your house that you
Well,
can't
yeah, like,
see, right? Like,
it's the moment where you consider that a viable option.
Yes.
But that's when your brain is jump the fence, so to speak.
yeah, exactly.
So at that point, I think you're 51-49 at least on the other side of the equation.
Yeah. Like this client that we were just talking about, like he was right on that fence when we got there. Like he's like, I don't know what's going on. Like I'm probably crazy. You guys aren't going to find anything. Like
They just need your signature to send me to a home, so to speak.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like just let me go. But
And
tell me I'm crazy.
Some of these people, they were raised to believe like they're not supposed to be believing in that stuff. I mean, I hate to say it, but like a lot of the big burly guys who are just like, I'm not supposed to be. That's
Well, the
they're
religion,
just raised,
Well, and it's
they're
funny
not supposed
'cause-
to believe in it, and then they're just like, I can't deny it, and I don't
Yeah.
want to sleep there, and I'm scared.
It's funny 'cause those are the ones, like, you know, we've
Yeah.
done these public events for the last 2 summers, and those are the guys who are like, I'm done, I can't take it.
Yeah.
And they walk out and go and sit on the porch. It's not the women, and
Of course
you know,
not.
it's
No,
these big, strong.
My wife would do the whole
man's
weekend
men, right?
like retreat. No, I can believe it. That's
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because men are still raised that way. I mean, I hate to say that, but there's
Well, it
still
is,
that
right?
stereotype that
Yeah.
they're not supposed to be scared of stuff, right? So they're just like, whoa, yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, it's only
yeah.
it's only starting to begin that change, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Another 20 years and like our kids, you know.
Yeah, kids don't grow up today and get that sense. Like, you cry, you just go ahead and cry. Ugh.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that's the old way of saying, hey, how you doing? How are you? You feeling okay?
You're right. Good. Get outside.
Yeah.
So then, in terms of, I don't know, back up, not next steps, but so you said, is your group always recruiting, but that way? Are you always looking for more members? Or
We always are because, like I said, it's really hard to keep people. They're just like, wow, I didn't know there was so much work involved. Like, this is just, and
that's
it's
what it was.
not
So what's
fun
the work?
all the time.
So what is it? What is
you're
what is the
looking
peeling
over
potatoes
It's
of?
the evidence review. So we go
Yeah.
into an investigation and we have
Oh yeah, hours.
5 or 6 recorders plus or minimum of 4 cameras going.
Yeah.
And you're there for 5, 6, sometimes 7 hours.
That's a lot.
And you're recording,
It's a
and now you
lot.
have to take that home and you go through everything. And not only that, but you're listening to the audio at a 10th of the speed. You're watching the video at a 10th of the speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you hear something, you're like playing it back, and you're looking at like you
Right.
know, sound waves to see if you did see something, and
And then you're sending it to another team member, and you're like, okay, you need to review this. So not only are you doing your work, but now you're getting something from somebody else that you now have to review too. And
Okay,
it's-
that makes perfect sense.
And the video work is just, I mean, you're looking at a room, right, for
Yeah.
that amount of hours.
Yeah,
So
your
a lot
eyes
of
go
times you're
buggy.
looking at a wall. You're like,
Right there.
Yeah.
oh,
Is something gonna happen? Yeah.
I am binging on Raw right now.
Oh.
Season 3 just came out.
Right?
Really gotta go.
Oh man.
Better get another bag of chocolate
Yeah,
almonds.
right?
Give myself up.
Yeah, and then you remember that, like, you know, we work full time. We're
Yeah.
moms, and so we're lucky if we put in
Oh,
a
yeah.
half hour a night
Yeah.
that we can actually
No.
dedicate to.
I'm in retail and I got 3 kids. This is why we start at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, really,
exactly.
come later. It's okay, ladies. I got here like 8:15. That was flying home
Yeah.
from work or whatever.
Yeah, it's-
I don't relate to you guys at all.
Yeah,
My kid's 18.
you gotta
We
go.
spend our Saturday nights up until 2 in the morning anyway, so...
It's like, I'm ready for bed at 8:30. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
When you start work at 7. So I said you were in retail. Did you plug for any particular person? I'm in retail too. So.
Well, I worked for Spirit Halloween,
Oh yes.
of course. And
I do not
I work for-
categorize people.
I worked for all of their stores, actually. They owned like a bunch of different stores, like in the mall and stuff.
Oh, so you do like the.
Bose and O Canada
Okay.
and all those. And yeah, they'd be happy if I was plugging them. They're really good to me, actually.
Now my work is H&R Block. They're going to send me some commercials next month. So
Yeah, no.
Really?
yeah, we're getting the 30-second commercials they give to the franchisees. Hey, I pay the bills. Can't go wrong.
Gotta pay the bills.
Yeah, you gotta pay the bill.
Oh, God.
And
Yeah.
sir, you are a.
I work for Casera Credit Union.
Oh, excellent. Very cool. Talk about a bridge financing plan for this podcast.
Oh, yeah. So, is there any technical openings? Like,
Mike wants to do all your
just
video
one-
reviews.
I don't know what video,
yeah,
but
video, audio, website.
As you were talking, what you had to do, his eyes, you didn't see it, they were lighting up.
Technical. We need more technical.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kelly's our only real technical person, so she does all the website. She does all,
Which is
the-
why it's behind.
it's tough. It's tough.
That's nice.
That's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
And then if you
Well,
want to
yeah.
do video editing or anything like that, I mean, that's a lot of work as well. And I mean, it's just time.
It is.
It's all about time.
Yeah.
So if you have time,
I can do website design. I can't do video editing.
you can do website design. You're hired.
Yeah.
done.
I'll pay you $0.
Yes. For interest.
Oh, it's like a subsidiary of a podcast. That's fantastic.
Oh, wait a minute, and you can bring beer too?
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, but no.
So
You have to quit the podcast. You can't do that anymore.
We'll pay you in investigations. You can come along.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also have some. I'll put there's an ad before this episode's going to run, but shout out to Pop Vulture who's sending us T-shirts.
Pop Vulture.
So a new little website of old colleague of mine that runs it, puts your most recent memes or cartoon characters or whatever on, and like my 13-year-old son loves every one of these shirts. Anyways, they are now big fans of the podcast. He's listened to a bunch of episodes and he's sending us some shirts. We're gonna do some plugs for them.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
might have he was
Wicked.
his secondary idea was to have a contest for the listener who's texting me. So well, maybe give away some T-shirts too, which would be fantastic.
That'd be awesome.
There we go. So we got shirts and beer. So we're almost clothed and fully fed. So
That's awesome. You're farther than we are.
Exactly.
well, you two can drink.
Actually, our public investigations actually
Yeah, they
they
really
paid
help,
for our
yeah.
trip down to Michigan this
Yeah,
year. So.
we always we split the profits with the museum,
Yeah,
so
that's fantastic.
it's awesome for them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill, want to know if you've been in any of the old theaters in Winnipeg, in terms of, because there's some really old theaters kicking around.
We have not the
No, the
well. We've been in the Garrick.
Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trying to
Like,
get
were you just
into
at a
the
concert, or were you
no,
in
we
there?
were.
No, we did an investigation in Winnipeg. Marlborough Hotel.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We did the Marlborough and
Because that was the other question, is of the, I know you, and it makes perfect sense to me, especially how you guys are contacted, it would be private residences,
Yes.
more so than public
Yeah,
buildings.
we do public buildings as well.
But that was the question. So what? The other one was, what public buildings have you been in? Because, and then which one was the most haunted?
St. Boniface.
Yeah,
I haven't
I
been
think
in
you
there.
mentioned that
Seven
already.
Oaks
Yeah.
House for me.
Yeah. St.
But yeah,
Boniface.
we've been in the Marlborough, we've been
Mm-hmm.
in the Garrick, we've
Yeah.
been in Seven Oaks House. We're supposed to be working with the Ross House Museum next summer.
Yeah, we've never been. Yeah.
Mhm.
We've been to Lower Fort Garry.
Lower Fort Garry,
the
Yeah,
Fort
Fort
Garry
Garry.
Hotel, and yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything in Fort Garry? Do you?
You guys have been there, yeah, because we stayed there, and when we were staying there
Stayed
for a
there.
It's a
wedding.
freaky place.
Well, we didn't, but my wife would
Oh.
ask, of course, asking about the room, and no,
Yeah.
sorry, so that's her booked 300 days a year, but
Yeah.
Like
but
I
yeah,
said,
but
I
so
went-
we went to the floor
Yeah.
and looked around or what have you. So
There's some weird stuff in there. It's interesting.
I think so.
Definitely.
Amazing
The thing is,
building.
though, with hotels, it's very hard to investigate because
Mhm.
you can't control the environment.
Yeah.
No.
No.
So you can investigate room 202,
Yeah.
but you've got people walking down the halls, you've got
Yeah.
staff, you've got people in the room
Yeah.
next to you. So
Yeah.
a commercial
Your
environment
evidence is
during
really-
its while it's working can't be easy.
Yeah. But St. Boniface Museum, definitely, for me,
I have to get there.
it was
Yeah.
crazy when I went in there, and it was the first time I saw a shadow person walk
Yeah.
by, and I was
I've
like,
seen one of
"Did I
those,
just see
yeah.
that?"
Yeah, and I mean the thing is too,
That was crazy.
we'd love to get into more public buildings, and we're willing to sign, NDAs and
Yeah. Can't tell people.
We won't
Yeah.
tell people we've been in here.
I've done that.
Hey, it makes perfect sense. I know the people that would laugh at people that would demand those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
if they're trying to sell the place. Like
Yeah.
there was a restaurant. Like it was my first investigation. That was years ago, and
Is it still
we had
a
this. I don't know. It's not in Winnipeg. It's outside of Winnipeg.
We'll go there.
So, but they had a lot of antiques in there, and yeah, we had to sign an NDA because they were trying to sell it at the time. So
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't go over well if everybody knew that people were scared to even work here. So
That's awesome.
I was like, okay, this is interesting for my first investigation.
God, there's so many questions.
More Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Have you seen the car?
No, I haven't seen the car. What car?
The
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters car.
Oh, you haven't? It's in
haven't seen
Winnipeg
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the one at Pulpines?
at Six Pines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Six. Yeah,
Yeah.
6 Pines. Yeah, I was there for one of their Halloween specials, like 10 years ago, maybe
Okay.
9 years ago. And yeah, they had it out in the grass, and so we got a picture
Okay.
taken, and then we went through a few of those different rooms. I remember Carrie, she peed her pants. And then I was drawn up on stage where this witch was shaving me. So actually, but we had a wedding there this summer, a friend of ours.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I was describing what I remembered from that. Oh yeah, that was the winter of 2004. And she's
Holy
like,
cow.
I was like, wow.
That's funny. Yeah, I was
But-
volunteering for a field trip for one of my kids, and I was like, while they were eating lunch, I'm like, I'll be right back. I'm like, where's the owner? I heard you have a Ghostbuster car.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm running the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. He's like, all right, come on in. I got pictures
Fantastic
with him and
family. I
stuff.
think we were one of the
They're
first
super
weddings they had.
nice.
And they just explored that as a venue. And so we went there, got all set. That's the one that Wendy and I emceed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't for the life of me remember who it was right now. But, he came by and they had a contract, but it didn't matter what you'd have to, can we make it work? Can we make it work? Can we
they're
help you
super
out?
nice.
The guys were fantastic.
We're hoping to do something with them.
Oh, for
We
sure.
Just keep talking about it, like when it's nice out.
So then, do you have any? I guess you say you run a summer event every year. What does that involve? What does that look like? I was going to ask you, do you have anything coming up, or what events are out there, or what are your future plans besides just hanging in there?
So with the summer events, so we run public investigations through smaller museums.
Okay.
So people can buy tickets,
Mhm.
and we literally have little, we call them, I guess, stations throughout the building.
I forgot. Maybe you don't
they
drink
get-
sugar.
He's gonna keep pulling things out.
You have to pull a lot of things out to find something that she drinks. She doesn't.
This is me.
Do you have hot chocolate? She'll drink hot chocolate.
No,
That's
I'm
pretty
good.
much it.
Whoa.
I know.
I got Bailey's.
I haven't drank much since Michigan, okay?
All right.
We'll get back to Michigan in a second. Clearly, you haven't been to Michigan.
So with our public investigations, they can
Yes.
get hands-on experience. So we bring our equipment and they can use it and try things out for themselves. And
Honey, you're haunted.
it takes about, we normally start the event at 9. Registration's around 8:30.
Yeah.
And they're normally out by midnight.
Oh, PM. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are rough.
Night. Night.
That's-
Yeah, man. Go hard or go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of volunteers.
Yeah, that's some tough hours.
Keep anybody working for us.
These working conditions they're out.
They're for 3.5 hours, and
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we've had really, really good reviews about it.
No, it sounds fantastic, and that's every summer.
So far, it's been every summer.
Yeah, like
for the last 2 years.
The first year we did like what?
2 events.
2 events. and
This
they
year
were
was
just like,
6.
this was great. So can we start it in June and do it like for 4 months?
And the curator of the Seven Oaks House, he's already like, we were done our last event. He's like, all right, so you'll be getting an email from me in May. Okay.
Good eye open for that. That's very cool.
Yeah. So, and we're hoping to do some other.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we would love to put on a conference.
Yeah.
Have some guest speakers out here and do a big public investigation.
Yeah.
But, like we were talking earlier, that's...
Well, some small events too, maybe in spring.
So who are the
We'll
guests
see.
du jour for speakers in terms of if you were to have a conference? And who is the... I don't know. Taylor
the
Swift
head
of...
well, yeah.
Ghostbusters.
I think they're both individual, right? Like,
Yeah, like it's hard because a lot of the more well-known ones are in the U.S.
Yeah, for sure.
And, like we know them, but we'd really like to also show off like the Canadian
For sure.
people, right? So like we're friends with some of the people who I don't know if you ever heard of The Other Side, the APTN one.
No.
So we're friends with some of those people, and a lot of people watch that show, and you know, we really like to.
So you're trying to, you guys
help
like
people
pioneers,
understand
right?
that there's more going on in Canada than people realize, right? There's so much history up here, and so we want to be able to show that as well. And
Share with you, when I was looking into the same day I wrote these ladies is when I was looking into the UFO, and Manitoba reports almost twice as many UFOs as any other province. You know that?
oh yeah.
Because now you do.
Now you do. Now you do.
like we have a lot of clients
Yeah.
here. Like everybody's, all of our friends down in the States.
They're
the
like, what do you mean you're
investigators,
going? You have 2 investigations
They're
this
just like,
month.
how do you guys
I don't
have so
know.
many investigations? We're like, we can't even keep up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just can't.
Like right now, we're booking into January, and we still have some clients that we haven't even responded to.
Oh, well, you'll have another
crazy.
one, and I'll let my wife know, because, again, in the way she looked at me, it was like, what do you mean you haven't experienced? no, it doesn't come up in the prenup. I'm sorry.
She doesn't know him.
I mean, you could have two people in the same room, and one will have an experience and the other one won't. I mean, it just depends. A lot of people are more open than others. Especially kids.
Oh yeah.
Kids are very open to the paranormal.
And there's different theories behind that as well. I don't know if you've heard of the Warrens. They're in the
Ed and Lorraine.
They did like they
Conjuring.
investigated Amityville
that's right.
Horror
I'm
and
there
those
now.
things. Like their belief was that, you know, if there's, say that someone passed away that was a mom at the time and was pregnant, and someone walks into that home who is pregnant at the time, then they're going to be drawn to that person more than
makes
others.
sense.
Or if that person supposedly has like sensitive abilities, kind of thing. And that was always Lorraine's belief. They're known as like the godmother and godfather of the field. Like a lot of people kind of follow them, and Annabelle.
So, can you watch like horror movies, horror flicks, and just be alright?
We laugh at them.
Are they ridiculous?
We predict the next move. We're like, all right, this is going to happen in the next 5 minutes.
Especially if it's supposed to be based on like one of the cases of the like Warrens. Like some of them have been based on it.
On events,
I've read all about this case, and I've researched this case, and I've heard some of the interviews of the real people who were
and the scriptwriter apparently has not.
You know, you're just like, oh, there's so much embellishment that's going on here. So it does make it harder, because I do like scary movies. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's ruined. This isn't real.
Well, it's just like Annabelle. Did you guys see?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, well, I was there, and I met like the real Annabelle, so to speak. Like I was right next to her. Like,
I'm gonna say it wasn't exactly like what we saw in the movie then.
It's like totally different.
Was it a porcelain doll? Or?
She's a rag
doll. It's a raggedy.
Yeah, but she's like huge. She's like this big, and she is encased like in a big glass case
with salt around.
Yeah,
like
really.
It's in their museum back in the States in Connecticut.
Very
like
cool.
with all of like the cursed objects and stuff that you see on some of the movies.
Okay, so
pretty crazy.
I just thought of an old show, Friday the 13th. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, of course.
The movies or the show?
Okay, just wondering.
Not real? Were you worried?
I thought I was the only one, actually. I'm like, jeez.
It lasted like a season, buddy.
Whoa, come on, it was good. A few seasons of...
Well, any other questions there, dude? For the wonderful ladies? Thank you so much for coming by today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
It's been
Absolutely
great.
thrilled. It was I especially I mentioned my wife again. She was the one that was like, "What? Well, you got to be nice, and I want to come next time and get the numbers." And it's just blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. So again, not surprised you got any plans
for
them.
me then.
Oh well, no, you'll be able to thank her in person, I'm sure.
Okay.
So. Well, I mean, we'll keep you all night. Thank you so much again.
Thank
We
you.
enjoyed having you on.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
If there are any breaking news in the world of parapsychology, please call us and let us know, because you have two big fans here. So.
Okay.
Awesome.
We'll have the links to the group and everything in the show notes. And if you have any questions or you need to get a hold of them, just please let us know and we will forward the contact along.
Okay.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, Musing.
Thank you.
While Boozing.
This has been an MK Cast production.
Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I know. I'm thinking if I take another drink of whiskey, I'm gonna wake up on the floor. Here's what I'm thinking. Oh, and here's what I know. I'm thinking it's a damn good day when you're drunk by noon and passed out by phone. education's for free.